And I think that shows a positive example to the next generations. I am proud of that. They are humble. They are good persons. Those words came directly from Rafael Nadal, and they have sent shockwaves through the entire tennis community. What could possibly make one of the greatest tennis players of all time publicly single out a young Filipina player and declare his pride in her? The answer lies in a match at 2026 Indian Wells, a victory over Coco Gauff, and a display of character that reminded Nadal exactly why he got into this sport in the first place. To understand why Nadal's words carry such weight, you need to understand who Rafael Nadal is beyond the trophies. This is a man with 22 Grand Slam titles to his name. He dominated clay courts for over 2 decades and battled through injuries that would have ended most careers. Nadal built his legacy not just on winning, but on how he won. He competed with intensity, with class, and with a respect for opponents that became his trademark. His career was filled with hard-earned victories, grueling 5-set battles, and a fierce dedication to the sport that defined an entire era of tennis. But Nadal's influence extends beyond his playing career. He founded the Rafa Nadal Academy in Manacor, Spain, which has become one of the premier development centers for young tennis talent worldwide. The academy operates on a specific philosophy that Nadal himself established: develop the person first, the player second. Nadal has historically been extremely cautious about publicly hyping young players from his academy. He prefers to let their results speak for themselves, shielding them from unnecessary pressure and media scrutiny that can derail promising careers. That is precisely why this public declaration is so unprecedented. Nadal rarely steps into the spotlight to endorse a specific young player this explicitly. The fact that he is doing so now signals something extraordinary about Alex Eala. When Nadal speaks, the tennis world listens. His opinion matters to players, fans, coaches, and media alike. So, who exactly is Alex Eala? She was born in the Philippines, a country not traditionally known as a tennis powerhouse. The sport has historically been dominated by players from Europe and the United States, with established tennis infrastructures and decades of competitive tradition. Eala showed exceptional talent from a young age and eventually joined the Rafa Nadal Academy, where she trained under the guidance of Nadal's coaching team. Her presence there represented something significant: a Filipino athlete breaking through barriers in a sport where representation from Southeast Asia has been limited. Eala's junior career established her as one of the most promising young players in the world. She won junior Grand Slam titles and delivered notable performances across the junior circuit. The transition from junior to professional tennis is notoriously difficult. Many talented juniors struggle to replicate their success at the WTA level. Eala navigated this transition with steady progress, achieving key victories and climbing the rankings in the years leading up to 2026. Her reputation grew not just for her skill, but for her demeanor and character. Filipino fans worldwide rallied behind her, and her global fanbase expanded with each tournament. By the time Indian Wells 2026 arrived, Eala had positioned herself as a serious contender on the WTA Tour. The third-round matchup against Coco Gauff generated extraordinary anticipation. Gauff had already established herself as one of the most talented and popular young players in women's tennis. Indian Wells ranks among the biggest tournaments outside the Grand Slams, making this matchup significant for both players' careers. The match generated the highest ticket sales in the tournament's history. Prices skyrocketed to unprecedented levels, resulting in a staggering $5 million in ticket sales from just one match. This was a direct reflection of Eala's incredible and growing popularity. The match itself saw Eala delivering a strong performance. Her competitive spirit was on full display, and she established herself in a winning position as the match progressed. Then came the unfortunate turn. Coco Gauff suffered an injury mid-match and was forced to retire. For Eala, this represented a potential career-defining win suddenly overshadowed by an opponent's injury. What happened next defined her character in the eyes of the tennis world. Despite being in a winning position, Eala refused to take full credit for the victory. She expressed genuine concern for Gauff's well-being and was visibly upset about how the match ended. She made it publicly clear that she would never want to win that way. Her post-match comments showed maturity far beyond her years. In professional sports, athletes are often taught to focus solely on their own performance, to take any win, regardless of circumstances. Eala's instinct was different. She prioritized her opponent's health over her own celebration, sending a powerful message about the kind of competitor and person she is. Social media exploded with praise for her sportsmanship. Rafael Nadal has always been a figure who speaks from experience. His words carry the weight of a career filled with hard-earned victories, grueling matches, and a fierce dedication to the sport. When he saw Eala's response to that match, he made his feelings public. I think that shows a positive example to the next generations. I am proud of that. They are humble. They are good persons. That's true. Nadal did not focus on her tennis ability or her win over a top player. He focused on something deeper. She is humble and respectful, Nadal said, highlighting these as the qualities tennis needs right now. He emphasized that her character is what makes her special, not just her forehand or her ranking. This mirrors Nadal's own philosophy throughout his career. Compete fiercely but always respect the game and your opponents. Nadal also spoke about the role of family in shaping a player's character. At the end of the day, anyone who does something good is in one way or another brought up by their family, Nadal remarked, acknowledging that the values Eala brings to the game are a reflection of her upbringing. This observation carries particular weight, coming from Nadal, whose own family, particularly his uncle Tony Nadal, played a central role in his development as both a player and a person. The parallel between Nadal's family-driven values and Eala's family-driven values is unmistakable. Looking toward the future of the sport, Nadal expressed optimism. Tennis players there, and I think they're going to keep helping this beautiful sport to grow and to engage fans. He sees Eala as part of a new generation that will carry tennis forward. Players who will not only win matches but will grow the game and attract new fans. His endorsement represents a passing of the torch from one era to the next. The Gauff match was not an isolated incident. Eala has demonstrated consistent sportsmanship throughout her career. During another match, Hailey Baptiste suffered an injury while playing against Eala. Eala immediately went to Baptiste's side, showing genuine concern. Rather than celebrating her advancement, she urged her own fans to cheer for Baptiste as she left the court. After the match, Eala publicly praised Baptiste and wished her a swift recovery. In a sport where rivalries can sometimes overshadow the human aspect, Eala's actions are a reminder of what true sportsmanship looks like. Her reputation among fellow players, coaches, and tournament staff reflects this consistency. Her interactions with fans are gracious, approachable, and appreciative. She handles both victories and defeats with the same class and composure. Her social media presence remains positive, uplifting, and focused on gratitude. One moment of sportsmanship can be performative. A pattern reveals true character. Nadal, having watched Eala for years at his academy, has seen this consistency firsthand, and it gave him the confidence to publicly endorse her. The relationship between Nadal and Eala runs deeper than most fans realize. Nadal has been working with her behind the scenes for years. He saw her potential long before the world started paying attention. He recognized the hunger, the humility, and the championship mentality that reminded him of his own approach to the game. The Academy's training philosophy shaped her game technically and tactically, but more importantly, it reinforced the values she already carried from her family. Nadal has been protective of young players in his academy, allowing their results to speak for themselves without creating unnecessary hype or pressure. But with Eala, things have shifted. Her rise is impossible to ignore. Now that she is making waves in the tennis world, Nadal has stepped into the spotlight, publicly endorsing her and making it clear just how proud he is of her accomplishments. This shift signals that Nadal believes she is ready for the spotlight, the pressure, and the expectations that come with global recognition. The cultural impact of Eala's rise extends far beyond the tennis court. The Philippines is not traditionally a tennis powerhouse, but Eala is changing that narrative. Filipino fans worldwide have rallied behind her with unprecedented enthusiasm. Her success has the potential to inspire an entire generation of young Filipino athletes and could influence infrastructure and investment in tennis development. Across the country, tennis has historically been dominated by players from a handful of countries. Eala's success broadens the sport's global appeal and proves that world-class talent can emerge from anywhere. Her story resonates with fans from underrepresented tennis nations who see in her a path that might be possible for athletes in their own countries. The $5 million in ticket sales from a single match demonstrates her commercial impact. Sponsors, brands, and tournament organizers have taken notice of her ability to draw crowds and generate viewership. Her marketability extends beyond her game. It is rooted in her story, her character, and her cultural significance. I think that shows a positive example to the next generations, Nadal said. Young players watching Eala are learning that you can be competitive and compassionate simultaneously. She is redefining what it means to be a champion in modern tennis. Her impact extends far beyond the tennis community, inspiring fans, players, and future generations worldwide. Sports media coverage of Nadal's endorsement has been extensive. Analysts have drawn comparisons to other players who received early endorsements from legends, noting that such recognition often precedes significant career breakthroughs. The outpouring of support from Filipino fans and tennis fans globally has amplified the conversation around Eala. Viral moments from her matches and sportsmanship highlights continue to circulate on social media, and commentators have noted a growing number of viewers tuning into women's tennis specifically because of her presence. Fellow WTA players have expressed respect for Eala as both a competitor and a person. The respect she commands in the locker room, despite her relatively young career, speaks to the reputation she has built through consistent behavior rather than isolated gestures. Looking ahead, Eala faces a demanding WTA schedule with Grand Slam aspirations that appear increasingly realistic. Nadal has always been careful about predictions, but his public endorsement speaks volumes about his confidence in her trajectory. He believes she will help the sport grow and engage fans, a statement that echoes his own impact on tennis viewership during his prime years. The challenges ahead are significant. Increased expectations and pressure accompany fame and endorsement. Navigating injuries, competition, and the grueling tour schedule will test her resolve. Staying grounded amid growing hype requires the kind of character that Eala has demonstrated consistently. Her support system of family, academy staff, and mentors like Nadal will prove essential as her profile continues to rise. Nadal believes the future of tennis is in good hands with players like Eala. She has the potential to not only succeed in tennis but to change the game for the better. Through her class, sportsmanship, and commitment to representing tennis in the best possible light, the tennis world is ready for the next generation, and Eala is leading the charge. Rafael Nadal, a 22-time Grand Slam champion, has publicly declared his pride in Alex Eala. His endorsement goes beyond her athletic ability. It is about her character, her humility, her sportsmanship, and her values. Her victory over Coco Gauff at Indian Wells and her response to it exemplified everything Nadal admires. Her consistent pattern of class and empathy, from the Gauff match to the Baptiste incident, proves this is who she truly is. Alex Eala is not just a rising star in tennis. She represents a new generation of players prepared to carry the sport forward with integrity. Her journey is just beginning, but it is already filled with moments that have captured global attention. With legends like Nadal supporting her, her trajectory appears headed toward the highest levels of the sport. What do you think about Rafael Nadal's endorsement of Alex Eala? Do you believe her rise signals a new generation of players who will redefine tennis with humility and respect? How far do you think she can go in her career? How do you feel about the impact she is having, not just in tennis but beyond the sport? Share your thoughts in the comments below.